Okay, so welcome to part 4 here. So hopefully you guys are getting the simple way to do this. My way, I've been teaching Adobe software for 23 years. I kept myself up to 2 o'clock in the morning on many nights 15, 18, 20 years ago, trying to figure out the better system, the better way to think about the software, to how to solve problems. That's my approach. That's my battle cry. I don't teach out of a book. I never read a software book in my life. I have a political science degree from NYU. Didn't touch a computer until I was 25 years old. Had no idea what a computer was for. But I eventually figured it out. And if you do the math, yes, I'm 51. Boo-hoo-hoo. Anyway, so these are time-tested, proven techniques that I've used throughout the years. I have the same passion for every Adobe software program I teach. I know every shortcut, every keyboard command. I can't be stumped. So, enough of that. Okay, so let's move along here. So we're now going to put in the CoverGirl makeup ad. So how do we do this? Well, we need to create a separate div tag. So command semicolon brings back our guide. So we need to basically get rid of this guide. So this guide can just go bye-bye out to here. So I need to figure out how big this div is going to be inside of here. So I hold down the command key. That div tag is going to be 749 pixels wide. Pixel perfect. Pixel perfect. How do I know that? Because math adds up. It all adds up to the width of the wrapper tag, 749. So I'm going to insert a div tag that's 749. Now here's an alternative approach to not putting a placeholder there, putting a cursor there. So we're going to go to insert div tag. Then, based on these choices, again, dialog box, think Dreamweaver, think Adobe, dialog boxes, based on these choices, we're going to put our new div tag after the logo div tag, which is inside of branding. So we're simply going to call this brand ads or brand banner ads, if that helps your thinking. Okay, don't call your div tags where they're located, call them what they do, because flexibility, if you now have to change the position because the client says, well, that's nice, but I want it to the right or want it to the left. Call your div tags what they do, not where they're located. That's why I called it the branding tag. That's the branding, the logo, the catchphrase, the phone number. Notice I didn't call it the header tag. The header tag pigeonholes you to put it on the top. So we're going to call this brand banner or ads. Okay, so I put that right here. Okay, so I need to make that 749 pixels wide. Now, technically, I don't have to make anything because I can let the content control the height and the width. So in this particular case, let's let the content control the height and the width. So we're going to delete this content that we don't need. Now, important step here, make sure you don't delete the div tag. Make sure that you don't delete the div tag. Now, if it's helpful for you to leave a little C there to see that there's something inside of there, I have no problem with that. So let's do command semicolon to hide the guides. Then make sure that you have hidden the guides. If you don't do that, this is going to show the guides later, but I just want to hide all the guides. I don't want to make that part of my screen capture. So again, also in capturing, make sure you're at 100%, because if you're at 60%, then it's going to capture a smaller graphic if you're at 120%. So if you look at the bottom right of the screen, we're at 100%. So again, Command, Control, Shift, 4. And again, this is for comp purposes. So if you need to physically go and get that graphic, if it's a banner ad, it's probably going to be exactly that. So just go and insert the image. And I'm just showing an alternative way of doing this. So I'm going to select this ad and copy. Select the C, highlight the C, and paste. Good little technique here. This way it's simpler to select my div tag. I select the C and paste. Copy, paste, because Command Control Shift 4 copies to the clipboard. Doesn't put it on the desktop. That's a different approach. So I'm going to make this JPEG, and I'm going to call this banner ad CoverGirl. And let's call CoverGirl 1 in case we have a 2 or a 3 or a 4. So we're going to put this inside of the images folder. And let's just put, actually, let's put that, come on. You put it, okay, we'll just put it, it doesn't matter where you put it, just put it inside your site directory root folder. Okay, and we're going to call it Cover Girl Ad Campaign, or whatever you want to call it. This is for search engine purposes. So there's my Cover Girl ad. Now notice that this is slightly not in the right place. So there's a couple of choices we have here. We could make a rule specifically for the image tag inside of banner ads. Now we have an image tag for the entire site, but I want to create one for this particular content. So I select the tag, make a rule, select the tag, make a rule. Again, this tag is different from this tag, which is different from this tag. Select the tag and make a rule. So we're going to make a rule for branding ads, which is inside of branding. Again, if you want to make this less specific, totally up to you. It might be less confusing to understand that this tag is inside of this tag. We're going to create a rule for the image inside of branding banner ads. Okay, so how to do this? We're simply going to go to the box settings and move from the left. Approximately, that looks like about 25 pixels. So if I put 25 pixels on the left and hit the apply option, it moves it down. Now, that's probably more than 25 pixels. So notice it kicked it out of the box. So let's actually make that 20 pixels. And it's still too much. Let's make that 10 pixels. Okay, and it looks like it's going to come in right at about 12 pixels. Okay, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So just basically finesse it till it gets exactly where you need it to go. But it's just a technique and understanding that you can place a div tag, so this is the image tag, inside the banner ads. So I'm going to take this, should technically officially go inside of the branding. So branding goes inside of here. Now notice I didn't create a rule, a specific div rule for branding. Best, say it 10 times fast, for brand banner ads, because I let the content control its height width. So if that helps your thinking, okay, let's move on to the next step. Okay, so notice we have successfully created our div tags to support this comp. We have put our logo and our banner ad up top. So let's see what this looks like without the tracing image so far. So view, tracing image, show. So starting to look like a website, looking pretty good. So view, tracing image, show. So this is the time-tested technique that's going to make you money. You'll be the envy of all your friends if you know this technique, because they're slicing and dicing tables and driving their clients insane and driving their boss insane because they were never taught to think Dreamweaver. They were never taught the correct way. So let's make our next set of div tags, which is the site nav. So inside the site nav, make sure your cursor's in here. So here's my site nav. So inside my site nav, so I'm going to select this. It needs to be an unordered list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hyperlinks for an unordered list. So how we do this? Well, this is going to be a little time consuming. So I'm just going to flip ahead to getting this done, and then we'll continue from there. So I'm just going to create, I'm going to painstakingly, with my 2-finger typing skills, I'm just going to type in an unordered list. Okay, starting out with subscribe. Now, important to understand that this helps you to turn the CSS off so you can actually just see your unordered list right here. So subscribe. Now, important to understand too that I'm not going to, I'm going to type this in lowercase. Now, I have successfully typed in the unordered list. I'm going to go to view for a second and view tracing image and unhide the tracing image. So here's my unordered list right here, okay, which is from here to here. Now notice I typed it in with lowercase. It's good to have to get into type in lowercase, because if you need to make it uppercase or initial caps, then just do that inside your CSS. If you type it in uppercase, you're married to it. You're stuck with it. Type it in lowercase. So I'm going to select these paragraphs. These are separate paragraphs inside of this div tag. Okay, so I'm going to select subscribe, trends, all the different things that were here, and I'm going to put this in an unordered list. Okay, so you'll notice that I have my corrected. I left out free stuff, so I just corrected that on my dime. So it's subscribe, trends, how-tos, etc., etc. So this has to be part of an unordered list. Now, if it was an ordered list, it would say 1 subscribe, 2 trends. I don't need to do that. I just want to make it part of an unordered list. So I select this, go to my property palette, and make it part of an unordered list. Now, I know most of you are saying, well, but I want it to go horizontally and it's vertical. Well, we're going to correct that when we create rules for the tags, Select the tag, make the rule. So first of all, let's get started by selecting this tag, selecting the tag and making the rule. So we're going to make a rule. Now, I don't have to be this specific. We're going to make a rule, unordered list rule for site nav. And we're just going to say that unordered list site nav is not going to have those bullets. So we're going to say none. I don't want to have those bullets. So now I'm just going to copy and put the pound symbol here because these need to be hyperlinked. So I'm just going to copy and put a pound symbol. I'm going to do that, be right back. Okay, so I successfully made these hyperlinks by putting in the pound symbol. Now you might say, how come you're putting in the pound symbol? Why not the name of the page? Hence the word comp. The client hasn't okayed this yet, so you shouldn't be making your other pages yet until you've okayed this page. Once this page is created, so if I put in the pound symbol, I'm not going to get a page error. If you put the real page in there and the page hasn't been created yet, then you're going to get it looking for page, missing page. You're going to say, what clown built the website with missing pages? So if you put in the pound symbol, it behaves like a hyperlink. If you put anything but the pound symbol, it's not going to behave. It's going to give you a page error. If you put in the letter X, it's going to look for a page called X. If you put in Skippy, it's going to look for a page called Skippy. We're just going to put in the pound symbol. Enough with that. Okay, so this is part of an unordered list. Now, I want my unordered list here. Now, I have my trace image hidden for a second. It'll just make it less confusing. So I want my unordered list basically to go horizontally. So the first thing we need to do is create a rule for the list item rule. Select the tag li list item inside the unordered list inside of sitenav. So how do I get content to go to the right? Anybody? How do I get content to go to the right? I float it to the left. We're going to float the li, which is list item, so it's going to basically take subscribe, trends, how-tos, and basically floating to the left, content goes to the right. Wow, content goes to the right. Floating to the left, content goes to the right. Okay, make a change, save a change. Okay, make a change, save a change. Now, this needs to go into a black background. So we don't have to have our trace image up at this point because we know it needs to go into a black background and it needs to have a certain height. So we're going to now create the rules for the anchor tag. So I'm going to select the tag, select the anchor tag. The anchor tag was created when I put in the pound symbol. The pound symbol creates the href tag, which basically creates a hyperlink, which could be for photos, graphics, or in this particular case, text. Menus should always be text unless it's some fancy dancy font and everything that the client insists on having, but it's not going to be search engine friendly. So we're going to make a rule for the A tag. Select the tag, make a rule. Select the tag, make a rule. Specifically, the A tag inside of the list item, which is part of the unordered list. So we're going to make this white because it's going to be on a black background, white with no underline. Now, if I do white with no underline, watch what happens. I can't see it because it's white with no underline. So this is how it's going to start out. So we're going to hit OK. Make a change, save a change. We'll continue in just a second.